Today I'm going to be taking you through how to generate a stone block retaining wall similar to what you see in these inspiration images here. So it's quite a simple process. Of course, you could just use the wall tool and generate a basic wall in 3D with the correct dimensions. But if you want to make something a bit more bespoke that actually incorporates individually modeled blocks, there is a pretty straightforward way of doing it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you would like, you can download the actual template file that I'm using here, the completed file with all the assets in it over on my Patreon with the link in the description. If not though, you can always just model this yourself, as I'll be going through step by step how I generate this. Feel free to comment if you have any questions or any issues that arise from it, or if you have any other recommendations for future tutorials, but otherwise let's jump straight in. So when it comes to modeling the wall, the best way to go about it is to start off by actually modeling the blocks themselves. So you can see here I've got a half block and a full block, and the reason we need these half blocks is because we stagger these blocks on top of each other in like an offset fashion, similar to bricks like you would have seen in the inspiration. We need to make sure that we do have a half block also. But the way we'll go about making this is actually just make a full block first. So you can see here that this is just a simple polyline. You can just grab the polyline tool itself, draw out your dimensions. So in Australia, it's common to have 0.5 meter, 500 mil, by 1 meter, by 0.5 meter, and the meter to close that up. So we've got this shape now. So what I can do now is, after double clicking on it, I can add some vertices. So we can add some simple vertices. I normally just add straight line vertices. It just makes it a bit easier to inset some of these. I'm really not putting too much thought into this, but if you're making them yourself for the first time, you'd probably want them to be semi-nice. And then what you can do is select the curve vertex mode, and you're able to just sort of edit these and sort of drag them around and make them look a little bit more organic. This is obviously a bit of a crazy example here. Maybe a little bit too angular, but you get the idea that if you take your time and you work through it, you're able to make these have some more organic edges, similar to what I've generated up here. So once that's done and you've created a shape that looks somewhat like this, you're essentially ready to start going through the process of turning it into an extrude. So once you've got this selected, you can press Control E, or you can go to there's heaps of different ways you can do it. You can go extrude. You can actually just push pull face like this and just click on the face and pull it up the dimension that you want, which in Australia is 500. Hit enter, and that will generate this, which is what we've got here. So I'll just undo that quickly. But that's what we've got here. So you can see that this now has been extruded. So that's all good. That's the next step, which is extruding the shape. And then from there, once you've got that extrude, you then fillet the edges. So you've got this shape extruded. I'm in the modeling tool set here, but you just hit the fillet edge mode. 10 mil is pretty consistent. Whatever dimensions you're using is probably right. I also make sure that I have select all edges ticked here, just to make it easier for when you select this and then you tick, and now you can see it's applied that fillet to the edge just to give it a more natural look. So once again, I'll undo that because that's what we've got here. So it's pretty straightforward. So once you've got this is your completed block. So that's pretty much going to be the piece that you're actually using. What we need to do now though is turn it into a 2D, 3D symbol. So you can see with this one, when I go top down, it has a 2D element to it. So it actually has a generated 2D that is associated with its 3D shape. So the way that you do that, you can just simply draw, and I'll just use this one here as my example because it's the right size, but you'd want to draw something that's your meter by 0.5 meter or whatever dimension you made the block at. And you want to draw it so that it covers the block. If it doesn't cover it completely, it's still fine. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Then you'll select both objects. So you can see here, I've got the 2D shape and the 3D object selected. You can go Control, Shift, Alt, and M, or you can go modify and create symbol. So you'll create symbol here, then give it a name. So you just name it stone block or whatever it is that you want to name it. Make sure that you got leave instance in place is helpful to have. Add 2D player lane to top plan component, make sure that's ticked, and make sure this convert to group is not ticked. Other than that, it's fine. The insertion point is where the center of the object is actually going to be. So I normally go next mouse click. So if I click OK on that, wherever I click next is where the center of that object will be. So if I click there, that's where the center will be. That would have been how you create your 2D, 3D object. So it's pretty straightforward. And then you can just copy and paste that as many times as you want, and it'll just have duplicates of that same object. When it comes to making the half sized, I actually just took the object that I've already made, this 2D, 3D symbol. You go to your resource manager. So you can see we've got our full stone and half stone. This full stone, which we would have just made then, I just go duplicate, make a copy of it, and then just call it half stone. Place the half stone version in place, and then just double click in, and you can just edit the 3D components. So this is our 3D extrude extrude, if I just double click again into this, go edit solids, this is the extrude itself. So that's without the fillet. We double click once more, and now we're into actually editing this 2D element. So that's how you sort of can go through layers by double clicking into it for each step of the modeling process. You can just drag this across, make it half size, bring it back over into the center, hit extrude, and there you go. You've got your half size block. You just need to make sure that once you exit all of that, that you go in and edit the 2D. So you can do that the same by double clicking in, then go edit 2D components, or you can just right click and click here and go edit 2D components. So it's pretty easy. There's lots of ways that you can do it. But you just go in and edit the 2D shape to make sure that it matches what your new shape looks like. So now if I exit out, you can see that we've now got our full size block, and you would have been able to duplicate that and create this half sized block. So that's how you actually make the blocks themselves. I've just got a basic sandstone looking texture assigned to a class here, and I have these blocks, the objects, sorry, sitting on that class. So it just gives it that texture, but you can set it to any texture that you want. You can have the stones as squared edged or sort of organically edged as you want. The fillet and everything can be changed. So it's all quite straightforward. So that's how we actually create the blocks themselves. So the next thing that we'll look at is actually building the wall. So we've got the blocks made here. So how do we actually go about building this wall? And it is super simple once you've got the symbols created. So this is my symbol here. What we'll do is we'll come over to this side, and I'm just going to draw a really basic line for what this wall will look like. So I'm just using that as my guideline. If you were doing this in an actual design, you would probably want it to be a bit more exact and to be the actual dimensions of the wall that you need. But this is just a line for our examples. So I'll go back to this stone block. I'm going to select our symbol for the stone block. I'll actually select both the full stone and the half stone. I'll copy. I'll go back to our building the wall layer, and I'll just start to lay these out. So I've put this into the corner because that'll be where the corner of our wall is. So that'll be the external wall face, and that'll be sort of it running this way. Now what I do is if you have this, we hold control, we shift and we draw it across. We've now got a copy. If while still in this view, you go control D, it will then duplicate that last command. So it'll duplicate this out in that direction and make you your wall, or the first course of your wall, I should say. So then what we can do is we can copy these, select them all, copy, control, alt and V to paste in place. Then we'll go control and L and we can rotate them. And then I'll just take this and I'll drop it over here. And that's the bottom course of our wall done. Then what I'll do is I'll take this slot. We're gonna drag a copy. So we've got a copy here. I'm going to place it in the corner because we're going to be staggering this so you can see how it's offset. Looks a bit crazy at the moment, but if you control Alt and M, and then we offset it by 500 because that's how high the extrude was. That's the dimension of the block. And you've got your second course underway. So then we can do the same. We can grab these, copy, paste in place, move our 500 high, go back to 3D. You can see that. This is intersecting here, which we don't want. We want this one to be staggered. So we just move it back. And there you go. We got our second course and it's all built up. And you can see here that this is where our half blocks would live. So if you had a half block, you would pop it in there, move it up to 500. And there you go. So that's a pretty simple way of generating a block wall, particularly sandstone blockwork wall, which you see a lot in Australia. And from here, you just obviously apply site modifiers and whatnot to the top and actually retain. So that's a pretty straightforward way of doing it. Now what I'll do is I'll just delete what we've made here. You'd keep yours there if you already have it. But this is my example that I've already generated here. So it's worth mentioning too that these blocks can always be edited. So you can change the width, height, length of these if it's different to whatever blockwork you're using. So very simple to change. Now from here, what we're going to look at next is the worksheet calculator. So this is a simple blockwork takeoff sheet that I've made. So basically it reads the block type, which is the name of the symbol. So you can remember if you made the name of your symbol here, mine's full stone block, you could call it whatever you want, granite and dimensions, you could call it anything you want, and that'll populate into this cell. And then there's also total, which is counting how many total full size blocks you use and how many half stone sized blocks you use. If you've worked with worksheets before, this will make sense. I don't want to go too deep into using worksheets in this tutorial because it's almost like it needs to be its own thing, but I've just made this worksheet for you so that you can put it into your design layers onto your sheets, or just have it for yourself so that you can get a quick count of how many stone blocks are there. The only thing I will sort of go through when it comes to the worksheets at this level, without going too far into it, is that if you right click, see this little black diamond here, and you've got this row, this is where the info is sort of generated from. If you select edit criteria, this is where it's determining what is actually being counted. The type is symbol. It's counting any symbol whose name is half stone or full stone, and it's reading from the layer building the wall, which is the name of the layer that I have there. If you put this into your own projects, just be sure to change this layer name to the actual layer that your walls are modeled on. It's very important because it won't count them unless it's actually reading from that layer. Or you can just select this whole criteria and you can just remove it. If you don't care what layer it reads, you just want it to count regardless of what layer it is, just count all the stone blocks on any layer, then you could just remove this too. But I just thought I'd mention that so that you're aware of at least that component of using the worksheet. But other than that, that's essentially the entire process for modeling these walls. It's super simple. You just start off with actually modeling the blocks based on the dimensions that you need them to be. Turn them into a symbol in this final step. Make yourself a half block if you're going to have them staggered, and then just copy and paste, duplicate them out, and lay them out like that. Then you've got a 2D representation of it, as well as a 3D representation. They're to the correct dimensions, and you can actually make a material takeoff and actually count them also. So hopefully you found that useful. Very common wall style to be used. So yeah, hopefully you can use it in future projects. If you did want to jump on and grab this exact file that I've been working on here, you can jump over to the Patreon and download it completely for free, all accessible there, as well as a bunch of other assets. But otherwise, hope you have fun making this yourself. Be sure to understand the process and apply it as you move through. You might find some tweaks and things that work better for you over time, but hopefully this has got you on the right path. So thanks for jumping into the video. Really appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.